Oh, kiddos. Today we're going to grip a board. We've got some tools set aside for this. Black Diamond. These are all Black Diamond products. This is your roller to roll out all the air bubbles. This is your file. You're gonna rub that around the perimeter once your grip is down. Get it ready to cut. And this is your what they call an owl. Not an owl, it's an owl. Who? All. Who? All. Who? I'm gonna prop this up and I'll get started there. Who? So, which one are we gonna do? We're gonna do this one right here. Okay, so when your particular boards, you see this 8.0 right here? That is the rear of your skateboard. But the way you want to orientate your grip is you're going to put Walker, because it says Anthony Walker. You want to put, you just want to be riding it the right direction. So get your orientation all figured out. Mama's gonna take the camera and help me direct this. You're gonna peel the back off. So first of all, you just make sure she fits left, right. And then you're gonna peel the corner off. And I like to just take a little bit, fold it back, and then get it. Use your thumb and your forefinger, and you just put it right there in the center. Both on the left hand, both on the right hand. Just give it a press down, and then you got to make sure this overlaps, that overlaps. It's all looking good. Even on both sides. I'm going to put a little pressure down there. Okay, so I'm going to put my pressure right here. Now that it's centered, I'm going to flip it up and pull this back. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to keep pressing as I go. The reason I have the blanket on my lap is still got my work pants on. Okay, so at this point, I don't want to get too many air bubbles in there, so I'm just gonna let that go. Work this out as much as I possibly can. Work all the air bubbles out. Get right, I'm not left-handed. I mean, I'm not right-handed, but once I get to a perfect spot, I will flip this around and work it the way I feel fit. The most important part is these little hips right here. I've noticed on the last one, because the last one didn't go very well. So I ordered another one. And you feel with one, you rifle with the other. can, try to get your air bubbles worked out. Start from the center, work them out like that. I feel pretty good about that. Things are working pretty good. I'll set that down. I'll rifle this out. Keep pressing. See the air bubble right there? There's one right there too. Make sure that gets out of there. Okay, I almost got hit right there. Because I've got a lot hanging over here and I don't have anything, so she kind of moved a little bit, but I mean it still looks good. Script tape. Take it to the end. Come down here, roll it out. Okay, now I can flip it over. Remember these little hips, they're very important. Okay, next. We're going to use the file. And I'll tell you what, I am really I'm gonna turn this off and really work out the air bubbles. I'll be back with you in a second. All right, so back after it. I've got the file, and pretty much I'm gonna put this back down on my lap because I want to protect. Pretty much you're just gonna, at a 45-degree angle, you're gonna mark the perimeter. So that way, when you cut, you're gonna be following the line. See this line? You're going to be using the knife and you're going to poke through the backside and just follow that line. See, this side over here wasn't rasped yet. This side has been. So it just gives you a little visual. And take it right along the board. Keep that angle. Flip it over. Okay, this knife comes in a kit. It's kind of, it's the same size as a credit card. You could put it in your wallet, and it's not going to puncture you. It's made for this. It comes in the same kit as all the other things. So you're gonna, this is a little safety right here. You get that out, bend this back like this, and you will see has little nipples right here. And these have little holes. You just poke them in there together, and now it is a usable knife. So I'm going to start on this end, and I'm going to poke through the back end. And you'll see there, it's a nice little poke mark right there. And I'm going to follow that line at, again, a little bit of an angle. You can use an X-Acto blade. You can use, you know, another knife. This knife is made for this. Comes in the kit. Nice and easy. Take your time. You're just going to go around the whole board. Where you scored, it's pretty easy to follow through. You'll see whenever I go down this long run right here, where it's, you see a lot of white taken off from my hasping. Where it becomes a problem is whenever you go too fast around the corner. Maintain that angle because you don't want anything hanging off. And this is where I kind of fell a little off center, but it matched up. Look at that. I don't even have to do that. So I'm going to, again, poke through. If it was centered, I wouldn't have to do that, but I'm a wino. So I'm going to keep coming around. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take that off to the side and come back to it. I lost my grip.
Lost your grip on the grip?
Yeah. Hippity dip. And what I'm doing is, whenever I start my cut, I'm deep back here. And as I move forward, I'm slicing. And you'll see the blade disappears. That way, you don't use one part of the blade and get one part of the blade worn. You use the entire blade. And we're going to let that run off. I jumped into a little bit of a snag right there, but I left it behind, and I will come back and fix it rather than trying to hammer through it. Yeah. Okay, so I'll get this part right here, not a problem. Let me flip it around. I want to save that. This is not something you want to rush. You want your board to look pretty good. And a little piece right there. And here's another thing. Take off a little piece of what you threw away. Just a little corner. And you're going to put, that's sticky because it sticks to the board, right? And again, at a 45-degree angle, you want to knock that edge down. Just so it doesn't, it helps it adhere because you're putting pressure on it to the board, and it helps with where you missed before, the little frags left over, and you'll see whenever I come back over here, it's going to knock that, it's going to help you knock that down. So all right, so let me go around the perimeter, and we'll see in a minute. Okay, so I got that all done. She looks good. Put a little pressure on it. I'm using the back of my hand just to lift up a little bit, just to have a little bit more control. I'm really concerned about these hips because of the last time I did this. I really want to get all the air bubbles out. And she's looking really good. comparative to last time. We're working with a good grip job on this. So the next thing is the owl. Who? It's an owl. It's an owl. Owl. Flip it over.
It's just a different vowel.
A-E-I-O. So, I gotta remember, this skateboard is on my lap. I am poking through these holes, trying not to puncture my leg. Okay? So, I'm gonna kick these holes off to the side of my leg, right here, or you can do it on a tabletop. You see what these boards do on a tabletop? You know, they just... Depends.
Preferably not your mother's tabletop.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this is so I can put my hardware on. Okay? Nice and easy. You don't have to jam it down through there. Okay? Nice and easy, make a hole. Just enough so you could see it on the other side. Okay? And so the reason for that is now you could flip it over and you could see all those holes. Now you could be a little bit more, put a little bit more pressure on it. You see how that just makes a nice hole? It works with the wood, and you grab the handle like this. Just work it in there a little bit. And another one here, another one there. Don't be afraid to open it, because you need to get your screws for your hardware down in there. Okay? Flip it over, do the same thing with the other side. Nice and easy on this side. You don't want to thrash or create air holes. You want to eliminate them. So just enough to poke through, and then you flip it over. Got one here. One there. Ow, that was my leg.
Stop.
Just kidding. Coordinated artery. So, these are the tools. You got 4 tools to grip your board. They're all right here. You'll have a little satchel for them. You got a little satchel somewhere. I think I might put them in this. They're all about the same. I don't know. Maybe it's too long. I don't know about that. So the next thing, the next step, is to make this board look just like this board. Got to put the quick trucks in there. So we're going to stop for now. We're going to come back next time, put the hardware on. And those are all sitting right over here with all the hardware ready to roll. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Just in case you want to buy another board and put the same quick truck system on, you can. Because we're going to show you how here at Papa Weirdo's Pumpkin Patch. Have a good night. Love you. Alright, we're ready to put hardware on. Just like what you see here on this board, we have the quick truck system. Everything is, you got to put them on the right direction, the right way. We're going to start with the components right here. We've got, these are 1/8 inch risers. Okay, a lot of people make these, and these ones right here are made by Independent. So if anybody, you got to know your board. You know, what are you working with? You know, I'm working with independent 1/8" risers. And the way you can remember that is the little design right here is the same as their logo. So it's the same thing. You won't be able to see them when they're applied, but you'll see them right down. Can you see that? Right down in there. That's your 1/8" risers. So if you wanted to have bigger wheels than the ones I have on over there, like the green ones, then you would have to put thicker risers on, so you don't have bite. Okay, so we're not going to get all crazy with. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Put these on. So whenever you're riding, some people like their trucks loose and things like that. If these wheels are too big, then you'll have bite down into here. So the way to get rid of that, if you want to use the same truck, the same wheel, the same board and everything, is you put a thicker riser down there just to bring the wheel away. Okay? It's up to you on how sloppy you want your trucks to be. These are pretty tight, you know, but anyway, these being directional, okay, so I just rifled that off to the side. Okay, here we go. These are your risers and your trucks. I'm going to do it the same way here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my screws, pop it up through the hole, use my little screwdriver that I got for Christmas. And let me put these 4 in, and then we'll get back to you. I could get him one of these. Okay, last screw. We were just talking about getting, maybe for Christmas, or your birthday comes next, we'll get you a little screwdriver set like this. They're pretty cool. You could just throw it in your backpack. But see, the reason we went with the quick truck system is so it eliminates the tools. So you're not going to be doing this at the skate park. Everybody else is whenever they want to change out trucks and things like that. But no, you're just going to clip and go. That's the cool part about being you.
And having quick trucks.
And having quick trucks. So as I push this through there, it came, you know, with, you know, all the material that I pushed in there. Okay, so we're going to use the same orientation as this. So this is going to be brought like this. All your chins are pointing one direction. And so we're going to set this end up just like this end. And the name of the game is where the big end of this channel faces the center. Just like this one. The big end of it faces the center. And you'll see how it V's down. So that goes towards the tip. Okay, so coming back over here, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my riser. That keeps everything in place. And then I'm going to put on my truck. And those are going to go in these holes right there. So I'm going to hold that in place, come around here, back up a little bit, and I'm just going to drive it in a little bit. Once you get it started, then it'll start ratcheting. And all right, got both of them situated. All I gotta do is tighten them all up. Now here's the thing about tightening them up in the back. The way you want to tighten them up in the back is turn it up like this. I want you to squeeze these, because if this is a curved board, I learned it on that one. So because it's a curved board and this is aluminum, the more you tighten aluminum down on all four corners, it's a soft metal. And then you won't be able to do this. So you do this and you tighten them up one by one until you can't do that anymore, and then you back that one off. You hear it starting to stick? You see this one down here is sticking? All right, so that's a little bit too tight. So I'm gonna back it up. No, still a little bit too tight. You have to play around with it. There it goes. That's pretty good right there. Okay, one of the things I learned. Oh, I already did these ones. I already did. These screws sometimes are a little bit too long, and you'll see the little marks in right here where I've got little diggings around the perimeter of the screw. So they were too long, so that whenever I put my trucks in, they would grab a little bit. Okay, so this one here is all set. This one right here, it's all set, but it's not tightened up. Okay, let's tighten it up. Okay, so they're both sticking. So I'm just gonna go back and loosen them a little bit. Okay, and so that one there popped out. This one right here still needs to pop out. There it goes. Nice fluid motion. So we'll grab some Tony Hawk's. This is what I want you to do, though. I think it's important because you don't want to mar the surface. Okay, so whenever you put them in, there's like the little V right here. You see it, how it gets fat down here and skinny up here. Here's the thing: if you're going to keep changing out your trucks back and forth, it makes the guy at the skateboard park or your skateboard friends or the guy at the skateboard store will tell you, people, this is how you adjust. This is your kingpin. Okay? A lot of people make them floppy, so you can go like this and they'll just flop around really loose. A lot of people really, you could do it however you want, but adjusting that kingpin is how to get it really loose. And the way you do that is with this tool. This is your multi-tool that's going to be in your backpack. And I like to take something. Knife, but pop that out of there. And then this handle comes out and it rifles right in there. And what locks it in is that little ball, right? I think it works. There you go. So now you have a little T handle. So this part of the T handle is for your kingpin. You can adjust that really, really loose, or you can adjust it tight. The reason I'm bringing this up to you is because people adjust their boards different on the front than they do on the back. And that being said, every time you rifle on and rifle off a set, you could potentially put the wrong wheel on the wrong end. So once you have your thing set, either in here with a Sharpie, with a black Sharpie, or maybe not on the bottom, but in here, you could put a B for back or an F for front. That way nobody knows that you're cheating. You just know where they go. All right? What is the front is, this is your nose. This is your tail. Don't worry about the artwork in the back, because I have all the chins facing in the direction you're riding on both of these boards. So you could flip it over. The chin is where you're going. Over here, it's kind of backwards, but it's forwards. I painted them backwards. We'll put it that way. But it doesn't. I painted them so that you can grab it like that, and then you can kick the front down and just pick it up, and then it will be just like that. Anyway, that's the reason I'm bringing that up. Right your front and your back on your sets of trucks, and then these go in there just like that. Lay them flat, and then slide them forward. I get it. I'm left-handed. It works better if I do it left-handed. What I wanted to show you was how to take them off. There you go. So that, you're an idiot. Okay. All right. So how they go in, they're supposed to, and I'll work on that for you, but how you take them out is center of the board, they come out towards that way. I like to grab both of these things with his hand, and this hand really receives it, so you don't bang the board down here. So you just hit both of the things like this, and your hand is already receiving it. It stops it. So now you could just grab it, and you're saving your board. You can ruin it on the rails and things like that, however much you want. But this is just a good way to show you that this is how you take them off. Just use your nice little palm, and it's, your hand already has it, so it doesn't skip. You know, you don't ever want to hit it and have it go skipping across your board. I think it's pretty important. All right, we'll stop now. We'll get back to the next item in a minute. All right, so I got everything squared away. What I did was I got everything adjusted. I used the Dremel because this one over here, the screws, I tightened them a little bit too. I adjusted the screws fine because this is good, but they were a little bit too long. They were catching on the other end, the receiving end of the quick trucks and the truck itself. So I just cleaned them up a little bit. We're good to go. So these little finger actuators, okay, nice and fluid. Whenever the truck goes in, these are supposed to come in a little bit, and then they're not fully set until you see both of them popped out. Now let's take a look at the tops of them. That one right there and that one right there. They're really hugging it. Let me spin around. I don't want to get you dizzy. But whenever I push, it's not fully seated unless you hear the click and you watch both of them pop out. You see that one popped out? This one right here popped out. And it's the same on the other end. You got to hear that click as well. Nice and easy. You put it in. It follows 80% of that avenue, and then you just give a... You hear that click, and then you rifle them before you even skateboard. Okay? So that's you can change out any of your wheels. These are cruisers on Tony Hawk's hollow kingpin, hollow axle. If you wanted to put different wheels on this, you can by using this same tool. So, use this part of the tool. Remember, this one right here is for the kingpin adjustment. Whoops, sorry. This one right here is for the kingpin adjustment. This one here is for the axle hub. And then the other one is for, and you're never going to use it unless you want to do something crazy. But everything is pretty much set in that aspect. Taking your trucks off of, and I don't recommend it. That's why I have so many of them. I don't recommend taking these things apart because there are tiny little springs in there that you will lose and never find. You know, maybe you might find them in the dog's hair when you comb them on a Sunday morning. But let's change out a set of wheels right here, and we're gonna go with the slime balls. We're gonna put the slime balls on here. Yeah, those ones right there. We'll just set them right here. These are pretty cool. They're green as well. We don't need all 4 of them. We're just... Oh, here's another thing. Whenever you change... And this is pretty important. Whenever you take this nut off, like I just did, put your finger over the axle. Come in and tight on that. Because these speed rings have to go back on there. There's one on the outside of the wheel. There's one on the inside of the wheel. Okay? Don't lose them. You see this one back here? That's the speed ring.
Very tiny.
Yeah, very tiny. There it is. You see it? Okay. They save your bearings. Okay, so we'll put this on there. We'll put the speed ring back on there. We'll put the nut back on there, and you're gonna like these wheels. We'll tighten them down with your multi-tool. Get them to where you think they need to be, and then spin them. Look at these babies.
Woo! Fancy.
So these are the slime balls. So we're going to set those off to the side right now. And I would love to show you, and we'll get set up for you. The next thing I want to show you is how to install your own bearings, because you'll see over here all these boxes are all bearings, and they need to go in those wheels. These ones, the slime balls and everything you see right here, they all have the bearings in them. So you saw me kind of off to the side at the board riding high skateboard place. I was doing that while he was doing other things, but I want to show you how to do it. And this is the tool. You got so many tools. This is the tool that you do it with. So we'll get back to that. And remember, you saw it first. Papa Weirdo's Pumpkin Patch.